What is up, guys? 70 Savage here. Quick video today. I want to go over, in my opinion, the best Wi-Fi solution for van life, for RVs, even for some marine applications. I just came across it today. Unfortunately, the town next to the town that I live in is actually on fire right now, and there is a ton of ash and smoke raining down from the sky where I live. So I decided to drive a couple towns over and try out my mobile hotspot solution for the first time. Let's dive into what it is and how it works. So one of the very first things that I had to take into consideration when building my van was how I was going to access the internet. I'm still going to be working full-time while I'm on the road. I work remote, which is great, but I'm in meetings pretty much all day over video conference, and I need enough bandwidth in order to support my day-to-day work life, as well as playing video games and watching streams and watching YouTube after work. So there are two primary ways in which people on the road get their internet. The first one is satellite internet, and the second one is cell service / mobile hotspots. After quickly researching the satellite internet option, it just wasn't the right option for me. You have to put a large dish on top of your van. It's pretty spotty connection, it's super slow, and most importantly, it's ridiculously expensive, especially compared to the alternative option, which is your mobile hotspot. I pretty much ended up on the mobile hotspot solution right off the bat. That being said, there are some drawbacks with mobile hotspot solutions. First of all, cell service is not great everywhere. You have AT&T towers, you have Verizon towers, you have Sprint towers, T-Mobile. They all have varying different coverages depending on where you're located, and it can be tough to get a signal in all the spots that you want to. So in order to solve that, or at least improve it, I installed a WeBoost cell signal booster in my van. That actually boosts the bars up quite a bit, and what I mean by quite a bit is if you have 1 bar and you turn on the cell signal booster, it'll probably boost you to 2 bars, which is a pretty big difference when it comes to bandwidth. That could be the difference between not being able to video chat with somebody and being able to video chat with somebody. So that improved the cell coverage problem enough for my van, but there's a second problem. Traditional carriers like Verizon and AT&T offer unlimited plans for their LTE coverage, but in fine print underneath that unlimited plan, they say, well, it's actually limited to, 20 gigs a month or 25 gigs a month or something that's a lot less than the amount of data that I will be using in a month. And so that was actually a pretty big problem. I was like, dang, I'm not really sure how I'm going to get around this. I know that on the throttled version, after you go over those 20 or 25 gigs, when they throttle your service down to very low amount of bandwidth, that's not gonna work for my video chat application. So I needed to come up with a solution. Interestingly enough, a couple months ago, when I was browsing YouTube, I came across a channel that was reviewing a new carrier on the market called Visible. Visible actually works through Verizon towers, which in my opinion are the best overall coverage in the United States. So that was pretty interesting to me off the bat. And the most interesting thing to me about Visible is they actually have a truly unlimited data plan. And that truly unlimited data plan can also be leveraged via a hotspot connection. The drawback to Visible is that they do cap the bandwidth a lot lower than LTE providers from AT&T and Verizon. I believe the cap for the bandwidth is actually 12 megabits a second. That means that you're only going to be able to stream video at about 720p, unless you want to pause and wait for the thing to load and then play it. But 12 megabits a second is totally doable if you're trying to work on the road for the things that I am doing, like video chat. You're just not going to have the crispest, clearest video, which you don't really need anyway. But it solves the unlimited data problem, meaning that I can use the internet the entire month and not have to worry about how much data I'm using. So after sitting down and editing all this footage, I realized that I said 12 megabits a second as the bandwidth for the entire video. That is indeed wrong. It is 5 megabits a second. All of the other facts that I say throughout the video are true, and I will also be putting it as a subtitle underneath the video every time I say 12 megabits a second when I meant 5 megabits a second. Another cool part about Visible, which is one of the reasons why I was so eager to just purchase the phone and get started, is you can buy this phone for 20 bucks from Visible. The second reason I was so willing to just give this a shot and try it out is because the plan itself with unlimited data is $40 a month. Now that's ridiculously cheap. When you compare that to AT&T and Verizon, their unlimited plans, which aren't really unlimited anyway, are going to cost you about double that. And so you might be thinking, okay, that's where they get you. They lock you in for 2 years, but no. It is a month-to-month plan, just like any other month-to-month subscription that you pay for, like Netflix, YouTube Premium, any of that stuff. You pay at the beginning of the month, you get your service for that 30 days, and then you can cancel at any time and you don't have to continue paying. There are no gotchas to this service, which is just incredible. I wasn't fully convinced when I purchased this phone that that was actually going to be the case, that when I received it, it was going to have some additional contracts or something like that, but it's actually as advertised, which is pretty rare in this day and age. So last but not least, on top of the fact that you can get this Android phone / mobile hotspot for 20 bucks and start your data plan for 40 bucks a month, you can also use my referral code to get an additional $20 off your first month, bringing the cost down for your first month of data to $20. Therefore, your total costs to just try Visible out are only $40. No commitments, no nothing. You don't like it, it doesn't work for you, you throw the phone in the garbage can or give it to somebody who needs it, and you cancel your plan. Nothing additional will be billed to you or charge your credit card, no hidden fees. I'm telling you guys, there are no gotchas. The other benefit of using my referral code is I also get 20 bucks towards my next month bill, which I truly appreciate, and you're helping support a creator that is gonna put out more videos. So although I am super stoked on this Visible plan as a whole, there are a couple of downsides. It's not all rainbows and unicorns. The first downside is that it does cap you at 12 megabits a second. That's quite a bit slower than LTE from other carriers. If you have LTE on your AT&T phone or your Verizon phone or your T-Mobile phone, you're probably getting a lot higher speeds than 12 megabits a second. 12 megabits a second is enough to stream 720p and have the video load faster than you're watching it. So like YouTube videos are fine if you're watching on your phone and stuff like that. You're not gonna get those crazy lightning fast speeds, but for my application and for most people's application, that's totally okay. We can live with watching YouTube at 720p. And then maybe it's a nice treat when you are parked next to a library or a Starbucks that you can connect to their Wi-Fi and watch in 1080p. Maybe it'll actually convince us to get outside more. The second downside to the Visible plan is that you can only connect to one device at a time with the hotspot. Now that actually sounds way worse than it is. There is an easy workaround for this, and it is simply to buy a mobile router. You can buy a little tiny 12-volt routers that you plug into a USB port, and you can connect your mobile hotspot to that little router, and then you can just connect all your devices to that little router. At the end of the day, you are going to be able to connect all of your devices simultaneously to whichever router you decide to choose. Mind you that the entire bandwidth of the mobile hotspot is limited to 12 megabits a second, so across all of those devices, you will be capped at 12 megabits a second. It's not 12 megabits a second per device connected to that router if you do decide to go that route. It's going to be 12 megabits a second shared across all of the devices connected to that router, which is then connected to the mobile hotspot. But that's it, I promise. There's no gotchas, there's no contracts, there's none of that crap. I would tell you guys, honestly, you know that I would tell you guys, this is coming from a point of honest stokedness and not a point of, I wanna sell you my referral code for 20 bucks, although that's a pretty good benefit. So although this phone has worked fantastic for me on my first day of working full-time. It did all of my meetings, all of my video chats flawlessly. I've only used it for 1 day, right? And I have limited exposure to the Visible plan. I'm going to be using this full-time when I'm traveling. I'm going to be using it all over the place, remote locations, urban locations, and I'm going to post a long-term review on the Visible plan in a few months when I have more experience. So if you subscribe to my YouTube channel here, you will get an update talking about whether or not this Visible plan works long term. Now for those of you who have Visible, or for those of you who use my referral code to start Visible, I'm super interested in your thoughts and your opinions. Definitely share those in the comment section below. I genuinely believe that this is the best solution, all things considered, for Wi-Fi in your van or in your RV or on your boat. It's fast enough. It's got super good coverage with the Verizon cell towers being the cell towers that back the LTE data service. There's no gotchas, there's no contract, no commitment. You can try it for 40 bucks. What more could you ask for? It's awesome. Hope you guys learned something from this video. Don't forget to slap that like button if you did like the video, and I will see you guys next time. So quick bonus clip for you guys. That fire that I mentioned in the beginning of the video actually crept closer and closer to the town that I live in. There was a mandatory evacuation for the entire town and other towns. Almost 200,000 people evacuated. Yes, these are the fires that were in California last week. When we evacuated, my family and I went up to Tahoe, and the internet there was very spotty, so I did end up just using this visible hotspot the entire time. I didn't use it in parallel with the cell signal booster. I just used the visible hotspot, and it had 2 bars of signal. It was awesome. The entire week's meetings went super smooth. There was no disconnections or anything like that, and I could also play video games all week, which was pretty cool considering I wasn't at home in my normal space. I wanted to give you guys that update. Thanks for staying tuned for the bonus clip. I will see you guys next time.